Okay, welcome in everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, welcome in. Let me know if you can hear me. Sound is good. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, good evening to everyone. I'm about an hour late. Forgive my tardiness, but things come up. Things come up. But we're working hard for you and for our lovers. We're working hard. All right, so welcome in. Let's see who we got in here. Let's see. Trying to get this together. Sound is good. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. All right. Now let's get back to saying hello to everyone. Let's see. We're going to say hello to Rosie Rue. Rosie Rue, welcome in. And Carol Lippincott. Welcome in, Carol. Freckle Joy. Thanks for being. You girls were here super early. Thanks for being here super early, Freckle and Carol. And Judy Hathaway says the time changed a few times. Yeah, I said I'm an hour late. Thank you, Judy, for being here. And Bobby Smith, thanks for the kind words. All right. Amy's in here. Welcome, Amy. And blessings galore. Welcome in, blessings. They need to make a multi-episode TV show revolving around the case. Yeah, that would be riveting, wouldn't it? How about the social media aspect of this case alone? Yeah. Welcome in, Melon. Good to see you back. Welcome in, Melon. All right. Aaron Town says, I'm so ready to wake up after trying oh so hard to listen to Attorney Travis for a couple of hours. Are they still going? All right. Hey, Nancy Drew 101. Welcome in, Nancy Drew, the good Nancy. Hi, Amy and Aaron. Blessings and Freckle Joy. Yes, and everyone else. Welcome in. All right, Curtis, welcome in. Are you first timer in the chat, Curtis? Welcome into you. And Curtis says, glad to find you after seeing so many clowns pretending to be experts. I look forward to more information from you. Well, thank you. And we're no expert here. We're no expert. We're just hanging out and we're commentators. Brandon, welcome in, Brandon. Good to see you, brother. Hello, Prof, and everyone. Curtis says first time. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, and it's good to see you. And hopefully you enjoy some of the older content. There's so much here on this channel. Only believe what you say is fact. Welcome in, Rochelle D. Just pardon me for a moment. All right, pardon me. I have a little sniffle. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Carol Murray, welcome in, Carol. Carol says, oh, let me get it up here. Hey, Prof and Brandon, now you will understand why I joined you. The truth is now clear. Well, thanks, Carol. Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, we love Brandon here. He loves us. Four Pits, welcome in, Four Pits. Hey, Freckle Joy was just wishing you were here, so hey, she got her wish. Four Pits. Curtis says, I've been binging on your older content. Great. Well, thank you. Check out the Frank's Memorandum series. It's about 20 hours of goodness if you want to get into that Frank's Memorandum. Okay, we have Turkey. Oh man, this one's hard. This one's hard. You're stumping me here. True crime hunter. Got it. True crime hunter. Driving and listening and ready to catch up on Delphi. All right. Well, welcome. Hey, guys, look, hopefully you got all the Delphi out of your system. I mean, did everyone do a show today or not? I mean, geez, it's been something else. So hopefully you got it all out of your system and you're just ready to hang out and talk a bunch of shit, because that's the plan for tonight. Just you know, chat with you guys. Okay. Hopefully we got all the serious Delphi stuff out of the way. Um, and you guys are ready to unwind a bit because it gets a little overwhelming at times. Okay. Freckle Joy says, Four Pits, when you said wine coop pharmacy guy held clan meetings by the creek, did you mean Frank Fitch? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, at Four Pits, we hope you and your brother are well. Yeah, you made it clear on the show you presided over last night. Well, thank you. I've been trying to make it clear for 6 months at least. And it's been very difficult to make it clear to people, but it's still difficult to make it clear because there's a lot that we're trying to be conservative here. Okay, trying to be conservative with what we're doing. So it's a little difficult. And Bobby Smith says, I've read the whole memo. Awesome, absolutely essential. Everyone watching should do it for themselves, delve deeply into the Frank's memorandum. I tried to do it with you and for you so that in case you don't want to read and you just want to listen, you can listen. But it's 20 hours. It's rather long. Rather long. Hey, Aaron Town says, oh, thanks for reminding me of Doug, Prof. Can you do his body language along with the sniffles and his multi-layered sentences? Yes, we have a long path to look out towards the first look at our family. Doug is an enigma, isn't he? Isn't he, Aaron? Oh, quite an enigma, the old Dougie Carter. Teach me how to Dougie, and I will do so. Freckled, yes, Frank was also a name in that circle, says Four Pits. All right, yeah, guys, like enough of the serious. Okay, everyone I'm sure has had their full of taking all that in, and it's great, but you know, you reach a limit. Sometimes you just have to be people. And so let's talk as people tonight and do it that way. What are some of the other names? Says Freckle. I hit the snooze button this morning too many times. Happy Friday, finally. Well, that's a lot of snoozing. Sorry, Pits. The stuff fascinates me. Oh, Freckle Joy is pumping Four Pits for information. So go ahead, girl. Uh, get it out of him. Get it out of him. I finally put it all together. I saw the light. Well, thank you, Carol. I mean, you know what's funny about doing something like this that I never would have anticipated is the amount of repetition that's necessary to get things across to people, and it's interesting to me because I was always one who I hated repeating myself and resisted it my whole life in every single way, and kind of lived in my own head thinking that all the things I had said and the thoughts I had, you know, tried to pass along in my life, once I would express them, I feel like, okay, I've done it, you know. And so I've always seeking and reaching for new and novel things, and it's funny because I look at that as a sign of intelligence and growth. But doing an activity like this and trying to communicate with the public in this way as a host, it's almost like every show I'm learning that you have to just say the same things over and over and just in different ways every time, but continuously just repeat yourself over and over and over and over and over. And unfortunately, it's not over. I will still have to keep repeating myself, but that's the nature of communicating in this way. It's difficult, but I'm glad that if I'm able to communicate to some of you some of my thoughts that stick, such as you're saying here, then I think that's wonderful. So thank you for that encouragement there. That maybe it's it's somewhat effective what I'm trying to do here. And like I said last night, I'm just trying to do what's best. I had a Delphi hangover overall dated. All right. This is horrible. I don't like to do this. Wine Coop's son killed himself in the 70s. He was a pharmacist too. Yeah, I hate hearing that. This is an interesting rabbit hole. Aaron Town says, it's astounding how every statement Doug has made makes more and more sense the more you learn. Well, that's one thing. And that's why it's very difficult for me to instantly jump on him and say that he's a corrupt POS because I don't have knowledge of whether he is or not. But I think the more that I've learned and I look at his statements, the more they make sense to me, like you're saying. So for that reason, I don't really go hard on Doug. I give him his space to be him until it is proven to me that there's some problem with him. Um, my assumption now is he's between a rock and a hard place. So, but definitely, what's given me that confidence is that as time has passed and things have come together more, his statements make more and more sense to me. So, who knows? But yeah, Dougie. Doug is a man of mystery. Um, and like I've mentioned before, speaking of repeating myself, if you go and look at Doug before the Delphi murders, okay, you go and try to find footage of Doug, interviews of Doug before the Delphi murders, it'll really give you a lot of insight into Doug's uh, persona, way of speaking, body language, and all of that. And then maybe it will help you better understand and kind of demystify somewhat his communications regarding the Delphi murders because that really helped me to understand a little bit that half the mystery with Doug is not really about Delphi; it's just his way. Okay, so yeah, seek out some footage of Doug pre 2017, and you kind of get a feel for him. Um, but it still doesn't make anything more clear. It's weird how pharmacists and grocery store parking lots in that thread is in that thread if you pull it. Very interesting synchronicities. Okay. Hyman's, Wincoop. Yeah, you guys are in a whole sphere that I'm not even tuned into. Family in Delphi that may have clan connection from generations back. Well, hey, that's half the families in Delphi. I mean, you guys got to understand that the white supremacist, neo-Nazi, Vinlander clan connections, uh, old German bloodlines. You're looking at ground zero. Okay, you're looking at ground zero, and that's part of the problem with these counties. That I think that's the contingent that has fought so hard to protect us from ever getting exposed by a resolution coming to these murders. But ooh, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right. I think one of the problems with this case from the beginning is the fact that a lot of people take Facebook and other social media as the gospel, not thinking for themselves. Yeah, and they believe people. Okay, they believe creators. They believe Murder Sheet. They believe the YouTubers, and that's number one problem. You know, if you go looking for info for Delphi, what do? You know, as a new person, you go into YouTube, and part of the problem you find yourself in is that all of the YouTubers in the early years seem to have been compromised, uh, repeating a fairy tale narrative and establishing a fake timeline, fake location, and colluding with the families to cover up the murders. But hey, that's just my way of seeing it. It's my theory, my observations, and it's me. But a lot of the YouTube viewers have gotten caught in that trap, and not only that, those who have stepped outside of that and questioned have either gotten banned, booted, harassed, doxxed, stalked, cyber stalked. Yes, they go after the viewers of YouTube, not just the creators. So it's been quite a thing, but I think it's coming into view. It's coming into focus here. I think we have a large contingent uh, that's sort of a community within a community, and by that I mean the community that is responsible for covering up these murders is part of the community of Carroll County, and in the very first days, it established itself on the internet as a way to control the cover up of these murders, and it still goes on to this very day. You've seen a lot of posting about it today from some of these people, in my opinion. And boy, speaking of that, uh, it's been incredible looking at checking out the commentary from some of the people who are feeling the heat right now for these recent events. I've been watching it. Yeah, so Fig Solves is claiming that that half the evidence that is possibly going to be presented is faked, and the other half is him and his buddies catfishing and fooling stupid people like the attorneys and Julie Melvin, etc. But boy, that's a far reach, Fig. That is a far reach. That is a far reach because it was all documented very clearly, and there's no way. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what some of that evidence consists of because that is being held confidentially. But I'm telling you, there's things you cannot fake, brother. And I think it's a weak attempt to come up with some explanation. But hey, I understand what it's like to be blindsided. Cindy says, "Woot! I found the party." Hey, Cindy Goddard, you are here. Welcome in. Okay, Carol says, "I do my own research." Perfect. We've all had to sift through these other creators' channels over the years. Yes, me too. Yeah, it's interesting because when I first looked at Delphi content on YouTube, the first two creators I noticed, Gray Hughes, Sleuth Intuition, true story. Until I discovered uh, True Crime Design, and then it was off to the races. Okay. I'm stubborn, have to make sense of it first. Cyber stalking is so evil, it's everywhere in this community. Yes, we've all been victimized and we've been threatened, and our families have been threatened. Indiana has a large white supremacy movement that is radicalized online. Explains the trolls. There you go. There you go. Let me give you the reward for the most poignant comment so far. Let's see if this works. Okay, people are going to be annoyed. Guarantee you. Let's get this pulled up. Sorry, I didn't have it ready. All right, Freckle Joy. There you go. Indiana has a large white supremacy movement, neo-Nazis, Aryan Nation. Um, it is radicalized online, and they're very good at it. And it's the troll farm. Hey, welcome in, Jay Rabbit. Jay Rabbit coming into the house. Welcome in, Jay Rabbit. Hey, good to see you. Aaron says they didn't have the talking points lined up before Hennessy's filing, so their information channel might have dried up. Yeah, good job, good job. Where they're having to go now, they're probably going to Zoom calls and private text messages because they're in a bind right now. I'm sure they were all blindsided, and I noticed them all. They try to hide and they try to lay low in times like this, but I've noticed them. I've noticed them around. Even little Ruckus Rocks. I noticed little Ruckus Rocks fucking around in some comment sections and doing his best to try to lay low, but also continue to BS. That's what they do. Jinx stinks. Okay. That's what took me a few years to comprehend was a place like Delphi compared to a big city like Atlanta. All right. Hey, welcome in, Digital. Good to see you, Digital. Welcome to the party. And Lisa. Lisa's coming in. Everyone's coming in. Is the show over any other channel finished? You guys coming in now? Yeah. Guys. Amy says, hey, Digital. And Carol and Lisa and Cindy. I watched Sleuth when he first started, and I saw how he kind of manipulated others to get info. gosh. And Gray Hughes, what disturbed me with Gray Hughes is when he was doing things that just were huge red flags to me, like fabricating a timeline and correcting Kelsey and Becky's inaccuracies and contradictions. That really disturbed me, and it I also didn't like the way he treated people. So I kind of got instantly turned off to Gray Hughes, and I thought, oh man, something's not right here with Gray. You watch Michael Catt, rest in peace, Jim Wagoner. Yes. Okay, so yeah, it's an interesting time. I tell you what, it's an interesting time. Like I was checking out wife or Holly Lowry's. Okay, let me go to that and just do a little talking about it. Let's see. It's very interesting. Okay, because on Holly Lowry's community page, she's been doing some interesting things. Now, Holly and I disagree highly on the Baldwin Rozzi situation. So, but hey, put that aside. Okay, put that aside because she doesn't know what I know. I don't know what she knows. You know, like I said, we can all have theories, and our theories can differ. That doesn't really matter. But it's been very interesting with her because she's been kicking in the ass a handful of people, and it's just very odd because I don't communicate at all with her, and haven't for nearly 6 months, and I've been trying to display to you the actions of these handful of creators who are at the center of the troll farm, and trying to show you uh, and bring you through understanding some of their bizarre behavior and how I think that they're compromised, incentivized, etc. And I got to say, she's been going nuts on on this exact group of people, and it's just bewildering because even though her and I completely disagree on the Baldwin Rozzi thing, you know, whatever that may be, and what we have reasons for that, whatever. But besides that, she is really knocking in the nuts this group of people. And who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Rick Snay, okay, Frank Meister, Deb's True Crime Notebook, Jinx, uh, Tommy Frost, Sleuth Intuition, uh, Surrender Dorothy, Mark Cohen, Norak, Turbo. Um, I'm just going down her wall looking at all of this. Revolutionary Dot. Okay, Tony Klein. And just looking a little more, see any I missed. I mean, I could just probably go down for the next 30 posts and Rick Snay, Mark Cohen, Tommy Frost, Mark Cohen, Jinx 13, Frank Meister, the exact group, fucking Fig Solves, you know. And it's interesting because basically what she's doing, she's showing you the same type of behaviors from the same group of people. And it's the same group of people that have been attacking everyone. By that, I mean everyone who is not solidly and completely up Nicholas McClelland's ass. And it's crazy. And yes, with the exception of Sleuth, they are all locals. Sleuth and Ruckus Rocks are the two non-locals, but they're all locals. Okay. All right. Let's see. I used to think she was crazy, but she's crazy like a fox. I dig her. She has a good heart. I love how she gets under everyone's skin. She can really trigger people, lose their mind over her. Well, oh, Profi Poo too. We have that effect on people. But yeah, it's very interesting that it's the same exact group that I've been speaking about for 6 months. That she's also showing you. She's also showing you. Yes, Rick Snay is completely obsessed with her. I think he's in love with her. I think he has a sexual attraction to Holly Lowry, and that would explain a lot of the bizarre, obsessive stalking behavior that he displays regarding old Holly Lowry. But I'm just trying to make a point that I saw that in the past few days. I've seen her post, and I thought, wow, she's just laser focused in on the same group that we are, and it's something else. Okay. Cindy says, I knew nothing about this case until I watched Vinnie Politan's reaction when it came out that the Westville guards admitted to wearing the Odin patches and such. So I'm quite the newbie. But Lordy, yeah, you're a newbie? What are we dealing with in Delphi? A community within a community. However, a community protecting the community from the resolution to the Delphi murders. What did I miss? Welcome in, Luna Ray. More new filings? No, ma'am. We're just hanging out and talking. And Frenchie6290 in the house. Thanks for coming in, Frenchie. Thanks so much, French. Good to see you again. All right. Blessings Galore says, yes, underlying sexual attraction and frustration. That's what I mean with Rick Snake. But who knows? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. The level of obsession. And it's also kind of disturbing that he's equally obsessed with me because I find that kind of scary that there's probably a homosexual obsession fantasy with old Profi Poo that I'm not comfortable with. But yeah, he just can't let it go. He can't let it go. So I tried to be as fair as I could with old Ricky Smallball Snay. And he can't let it go. He can't let it go. Okay. The guitar string just broke. What do you mean the guitar string called the Delphi Murders cover up, or the dam breaking, or the shit hitting the fan, however you want to put it, letting the cat out of the bag? Yeah, I would say that yesterday the cat was let out of the bag, and I also said that it's just the tip of the iceberg because realize that in that filing, nothing has gone into detail, and none of the 250 pages of the anonymous person in Texas is explained, and none of the 1.7 pounds of documents with the Attorney General is explained. So just be aware that there's a lot more to the iceberg. But what we're particularly looking at with this tip of the iceberg at this juncture is the potentially illegal, corrupt, and contemptuous behavior of Nicholas McClelland with YouTubers. But there's so much more than just that. Okay? I'm an outsider, but fascinated with this particular case because it's so bizarre. Yeah, and it's getting more bizarre. So just hold on, hold on to your hats and put your seatbelts on because we're in for a wild ride. It's just beginning. It's just beginning. I said 2024 would be an amazing year, a great year for the case. So Rick Snay is obsessed with making lies about good people. It's what he does, and it's unfortunate. I don't know why he attacks, but I guess it's his only content. He has no content other than that. He uses it for clicks and whatnot. Hard to imagine being a newbie in this circus. Oh, especially at this point in time. I mean, it's more nuts than it's ever been. It took me months and months of research before it became impossible to keep believing the narrative. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because the narrative, that's the thing about these YouTubers like Gray Hughes and Sleuth Intuition. They have the biggest channels, okay? So they're the loudest voices. So for years, they've been well established in providing this fantasy fairy tale narrative. And it's very difficult for people to get over it or to get past it because you start with believing this narrative, which includes Photoshop materials, a false timeline, and a false location, and all kinds of things with these huge YouTubers, and you get to a point where if you try to reason that out for so long, like you did, Aaron, eventually you reach this point where you say, okay, no, this is all not adding up. There's too many contradictions. There's too much bizarre behavior. Blah 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 blah. And then you start to get past it, and that was where for me, where a good uh, tipping point for me was finding true crime design, because for so long I was trying to make sense of it, and then watching her channel, there were things that made more sense. Now, at this point in time, I don't agree with everything on her channel and all of her takes and all of her conclusions, but because it was so polar opposite to these Gray Hughes and Sleuth Intuitions of the world, it opened my mind to the possibilities and to exploring things. So I could go and investigate into her claims and opinions and sort of find my way through it. And so, you have kind of those two extremes there, and enables one to start to go and find this middle way and the middle ground. So for a newbie coming in now, there's so many voices and so many channels. Yeah, it's like depends on where they start. If they start with Sleuth Intuition or Gray Hughes, they're in for an uphill battle. Uh, or if they start with True Crime Design, well, they're also in for an uphill climb, but maybe it's a little less steep. Blessings goes was laughing. Okay, Rochelle says someone on another chat said they hacked Snay and he didn't get the crime scene photos in October. He had them the January before. Well, guess what, guys? December, January, February. Okay, so this material had been out since December, January, February. Chris Todd, Tommy Frost, Rick Snay, Frank Meister, Marv, uh, who am I missing? Mark Robert Cohen, Indie Archives. I mean, you have all of these guys at the center of this shit. Goes way back. It's not an October leak. What happened in October was a disaster, which I believe was intentionally caused to counter the Franks memorandum. And I've mentioned that before, but once again, I'm repeating myself because you had the Franks memorandum drop. It was so devastating to the prosecution that I believe a plan was put into motion to cause a disaster, to try to have both the defense team and the Franks memorandum removed from the case. And it failed. It failed. And when people started investigating this leaked disaster nuclear bomb, uh, they started to realize that everyone was lying who was involved in it. And because of that, they started to realize, yes, this material reached back further than October 3rd. And as the further they investigated and started to look at it, they started to realize, wow, it goes all the way back to December of 22, January and February of 23. So yeah, the shit had been out a year before we knew anything about it. All right. Brandon Barrage says, oops, I missed it. Well, hey, Frank Meister name drops a lot. Would they have trusted him early on? Well, for sure, he name dropped Becky Patty immensely, who is supposed to be under the gag order. Let's. I just skipped for some reason. My computer glitched. I just skipped over everyone's comments. Let's see. I'm going to try to avoid the tangents like I just went on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to find where we were. All right, almost there. Hey, nobody, nothing. Welcome in. All right, thanks for coming, nobody, nothing. All right, here we go. Okay, so Brandon says the first Delphi creator I watched was Miss Fucking Wonderful. She's long since been shut down. Well, what they've done, this troll farm has ran off uh, just about all the truth-telling creators who've ever appeared out of nowhere. So when you're a new creator, you appear out of nowhere to cover Delphi. They basically gang stalk you and attack you to run you off, and it happened to me. And somehow I maintained, okay, and I almost ran off, but I didn't. But that's what they do. They try to run off everyone. And if you go and look who's been run off, just about all of them have been run off. And they've all been run off by the gang stalking, the death threats, the doxing, the harassment, and the troll farm. The state's tentacles got them in a stranglehold, baby. Well, that's a fact. They went too far. They went too far. Smart move going through the attorney general. Well, it's about accountability. Todd Rokita. Okay, so here's the thing. Rokita is now responsible for the documents that he received, right? McClellan withdrew his motion for mental health records because he found out about them by reading privileged information of an ex parte meeting. Yes, which was inappropriate, as is the colluding with the YouTubers and hackers. I'm trying to keep the focus on the hackers for you guys because I keep forgetting to mention it. Fixalls is only a is only a is only a, a piece of this, okay? Because there are hackers involved who have been doing illegal, inappropriate things, okay? These hackers are high level. Some of them were trained by cyber criminals. Some of them were trained by military. So these hackers colluding with Big Sauls and McClellan, they are part of the problem that we don't know about yet because we have not exhibited that evidence for the public yet. But there's a whole aspect of hacking to this case. And hey, it's very possible that there may have been a hacking attempt on some of the defense attorneys this morning. But I'm not going to give you details about that, but I'm just letting you know things are going down, baby. I don't talk much, but listen a bunch. I'm so glad you stood up for yourself. Glad to see those tubers called out. Hey, thank you, Camo Country. Welcome into the chat. Please talk much because we love it when you guys join the chat because often we only have our diehard regulars in the chat and everyone else just listens and watches. But like I said many times, this whole channel is about my chat. Okay, so when we do these live streams, I'm solely focused on the chat. It's for you guys to have a line of communication and interaction, and for me to be able to interact with you. I really think Snay thinks he's going to walk away from this unscathed. Well, they all do, but I bet they've all got attorneys right now. J Rabbit says, I mean this with respect, but how many pages is 2 pounds? My word, that's a lot. It's a lot of pages. 1.7 pounds. I couldn't imagine being a newbie, but I hate knowing this story for real. Oh my gosh, well, there's no way getting out of it. You know, because if I would quit and walk away, I would still be thinking about it every day, and all my friends would still be calling me with this discussion like all day, every day. We talk and we text and we talk, and things develop. So even stepping away from doing shows, which I've done a couple times, I'm sure you're aware, um, I couldn't escape it. So why not just do shows, right? True Crime Design is still my second favorite Delphi channel, just beaten by Eye of Apophis. Awesome. Well, I'd say pretty much me too. Although I gotta say, I did like Julia and Misbehaved, and some others, but they've gone kind of silent. Sai was the first YouTube channel of Sleuth Intuition I watched, and I really wanted to like him. Yeah, I understand that. Oh yeah, Frenchie says I miss Misbehaving. Yeah, me too. Hey, welcome in, Aaron Ethan. Aaron Ethan, I think you're a first timer in the chat. Welcome in. I remember Gray acting like he owned the case, going in other channels scolding if they didn't follow the narrative. Yeah, he did that to me too. He called me an embarrassment. So good old Gray Hughes, Gray Pubes came in and he says, he called me a complete embarrassment. And I took that as a compliment because I believe it was a video I made criticizing Kelsey. But hey, I question what's questionable. That's what I do. This channel seems like it's our chat forum, unlike those that put so much work into making videos instead of live streams. Well, thanks, Abram. That's what I try to do, but I do love making the videos. It's just that the odd thing about the videos is when I put them out, it's kind of sad for me because like I put the love into making the videos, and once I release them, they just go out into the world and kind of wither and die, and people watch them and periodically comment. But when I do a live stream like this tonight and everyone's in the chat, it's so immediate and so many people in at once that can exchange ideas quickly, and it doesn't take a week for one comment to be commented on by another viewer. Uh, so the purpose of something like this is that it's the immediacy, and it's being able to ask questions and have them answered quickly, and to interact and to share information, and just the fellowship in general. So that's why I do this sort of thing. And I never intended to do long formats. I thought an hour long program would be a good show. But once I started doing the shows, I noticed that the long format was just a natural development of the people in the chat, because it takes the 2 or 3 hours for the chat to discuss all that it wants to on that particular live stream before it's time to wind down. So that's kind of how this developed into what it has become. But thank you, Aaron. Right. Frank Meister name drops a lot. Okay, I see that. We've read that. How did I read that? So many YouTube channels that I really went out of my way at multiple attempts to like them, but just couldn't get there. I think my computer glitched again. Rosie Rue says, Frank's reviews were amazing. Well, thank you. 20 plus hours of that. Yeah, 20 plus hours. I have been meaning to go back and do some clips from them of highlights to post, but it's just time consuming. It's very time consuming. So because of my day-to-day life, it's very time consuming to do all that video editing. So, but I could use some help. So let me make this announcement. Anyone willing to help with something maybe like that, like clipping some of my content into small highlight reels, please send me an email or something if you would like to help me out with doing something like that. Because there's so much that I would like to go back and clip. I just don't have the time to really go through it and do it, unfortunately. But if anyone wants to help the channel in that way, I'd accept your volunteer help. The good old boys took a rope and hung themselves. Well, they sure did, Pitts. That's what we're getting at. I bet they were blindsided, because just wait. Like I said, it's tip of the iceberg. It's an indicator of a direction of things to come. Hopefully in a couple of days, I'll be back to my old self, says JoJo. All the Delphi channels appeared at the same time and didn't want any outside channels. Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. With half of the Delphi channels are controlled from the top, and they're all repeating the narrative. You got to wonder, what kind of organization would have the power to establish control over half the YouTube content creators? I mean, it's incredible. It's a major force. Why is Frank Meister all of a sudden collaborating with Chris? Well, because they're colluding together. I do not like either of them because of their attitudes. All they'd have to do is fix their nasty attitudes with me, and I wouldn't have that big of a problem with those guys. But I don't know what their issues are, but there's some issue there. Notice how Meow was saying Dennis Randall's name a lot, and his daughter's little friend Jinx came in and ran her off and did everything she could to get Flora away from her. Yeah, because Nicole Randall is the bestie friend of Jinx 13. We're not going to talk much about Jinx, because those of you who have investigated her, you know a lot about her. So Dennis Randall intimately tied into the Flora fires. Meow having a lot of knowledge of the Flora fires. And little Jinx being the little demon rat in between the two. Okay, because she has her ass all up in the Delphi murders and the Flora fires. Why did Jinx do that? And why did she go and try to take over the chats of all of YouTube? She even did it to Little Joe Lewis. She went over there and tried to take over Little Joe Lewis's channel. And when I go in to interact with Little Joe, she would instantly delete me the minute I appeared. And it's a strategy she had. And Little Joe found out eventually and kicked her ass out of that. But that's what they do. They have literally tried to gain a stranglehold over all of Delphi content creation to control the narrative. They definitely ran off many, and you better follow YouTube policy or they will shut you down. Okay. Cindy says, blessings galore. I am no proctologist. but I can spot an a-hole a mile away. I consider Frank Meister one of those. No, MFW didn't tell the truth, but Ron Logan's secret interview was legit. Okay. Aaron says the computer I am chatting from now was hacked, but it only served to give international police access to their shenanigans. Well, that's great, Aaron, because there was some hacking. There's been recent hacking, and actually, since this document was filed, they've been some hacking to some of us. They've been hacking this hacking aspect. Wait till the feds get in on it, and you've got the international police. It's all going to come to light. They've been really stupid. They made stupid mistakes. Truth and facts always went out. My run-in with Sleuth and Indie Archive. They're assholes. I only listened to a couple of Gray Hughes videos. I couldn't handle his attitude. I know. And the amount of money that guy's making, I have never, how is that guy making so much money doing his little program? I mean, I don't get it. All right, where can I see and buy your Delphi art? Set my own price. Oh, I don't know. If you look in the channel description, there's a link. Let's see if I can drop it here. Give me a moment. This is just photography, okay? It's photography. I'll try to give you this page and you guys can just explore it at your leisure. Keep in mind, this is just a, it's just like a, it's just like any merch. It's like a merch thing where I just make a very small percentage of the sale. So if you buy a piece of art, realize I'm going to make like, I don't know, a small percentage of the sale because the art has to be printed and paid for and shipped and all of that. And that company does all that, and they just send me a little piece of each. So I mainly just loved the photography and wanted it available in those nice formats of canvas and prints and all that. So that's why I made this little site. But, I've seen Frank Meister personally attack women. Oh, me too. Do you think Noe and Jay will get a collab with the paranormal guys? There is a remote viewer I think you should talk to. She seems spot on. Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. Um, I don't know if the paranormal guys will ever be back around Delphi, but we have a line of communication. So if they are back around and interested, I'm sure they'll get together if that ever, is meant to be. A couple of years ago, Delphi YouTuber had a hacker in disguise on. Don't remember which one. Oh, I see what you mean. He had a hacker come on the show wearing a disguise. Hey, Susie, welcome in, Susie. Thanks for coming in, Susie. Right. I saw Frank Meister calling Holly beautiful and hot on Facebook after talking a bunch of crap about her. I find Holly's bar story about him very believable. Yeah, there's no way he meant that because he's always hated Holly. And I think that was an attempt to lure her into some situation. So thank God that she was smarter than that. Will you have a night when people can call in? Yeah, absolutely. I sure will. I could do it now. Might have to take a little 5-minute break and get some water, but we can have some of you if you want to join tonight. Their issue is they hate anyone who disagrees with their weird ass theories. Well, because there's something not wrong here. There's something not right here. But see, that's what I've been trying to explain to you guys. Even 6, 7, 8 months ago, when the shit started, I tried to indicate to everyone this is more than trolling. Okay, trolling is one thing. Okay, trolling is one thing. There's something called trolling, and it's pretty innocuous, and it's not very nice, but it's trolling. It's a nothing burger, right? Trolling is trolling. It's a small thing, but what these people are doing, it's beyond trolling. Okay, so trolling is like, say like trolling is a say like trolling is a little problem, a little meanness. What's actually happening is so beyond trolling. It's to the level of criminal. So you have trolling, but what you have in the Delphi murders with this group of people, it's so beyond trolling. It's to the point where people have wanted to kill themselves, where people have killed themselves, where people have been killed, where people have had to seek mental help. Okay, so this whole thing is so beyond trolling you wouldn't understand. And I have posted evidence that they want people to kill themselves. They want people to not be able to handle it. Okay, go look. I made a video called "The Delphi Troll Farm Evidence of Stalking." The Delphi Troll Farm Evidence of Stalking. This is a conversation between Chris Long of Indie Archives, Thomas Frost of Frosty, and Courtney Barris of Jinx 13. And at a point in the conversation, while discussing the stalking and harassing of some of us creators, they literally say that she's not going to be able to handle it. She's going to kill herself. She's, like, this is the goal of these people. Think I'm joking? Go look at the evidence. That's why I posted it. Jinx did that shit here. Gray Hughes and that money thing. What is wrong with those thousands of people? I think Court TV funds some of the losers to push their narrative, which is all for the state. Mm-hmm. The drabby colored one is doing major laundry services with his channel. Excuse me. That's my bet. That's a nice way to put it, Aaron. You're nice words. Using nice words. Upon my arrival to YouTube, I didn't trust my own institution like I do now. Intuition. I've made some mistakes, but I'm thankful for the experience. Cindy loves call-in shows, and so does Luna Ray. They are driving by people's homes. Yes, they stalk in person. This is what I'm getting at, you guys. Like, they wish death upon people, and they wish suicide upon people. They wish suicide upon Matt. What's his name? No, Matt Sullivan. They even wish suicide upon Matt Sullivan. But yes, they drive by people's homes. Okay, they stalk people in public places. They stalk people. Indie Archive stalks people with his drones. Think I'm joking? We have proof. That's why I can say it. Lisa, hey, Radar, welcome. Radar's one of my favorite locals, okay? Radar is one of my favorite locals, so thank you so much. And so is Luna Ray. But Radar, thank you for coming in again. We love you, Radar. Radar is, thanks for coming in. Especially when callers and creators are able to engage in respectful debate. Okay, let's see. Rochelle says, how about a call-in spirit session? Well, wouldn't that be weird? What would that be like? What is a call-in spirit session? Wow. Thank you, Rochelle. I'm going to have to meditate on that for a minute. What is a call-in spirit session? Maybe calling Jay and having him open his spirit box and say, Jay, let's do a spirit box online. All right. Hey, so we've caught up with the chat. Well, yeah, let me do this. Let me, we're an hour in. Okay, let me do this. Let me take a 1-minute break, and I'm going to pull up something for you guys. You're going to love it. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Okay. Okay, can everyone hear me now? Let me know. All right, so let's turn this music off. All right, now let's see what we got here. Jim says, Murder Sheet was talking shit about all crazy YouTubers. They love Gary. Yeah, of course. They all work on the same side. They all work on the same team. I mean, isn't it obvious? Who has been at the center of every leak in this case? Hmm? Murder Sheet? Tell me I'm wrong. Someone tell me I'm wrong. Robert Cohen? Mark Robert Cohen? Yeah. Yep, and they are very pretentious. I mean, I cannot listen because of their extremely pretentious attitudes when presenting. I just cannot bear to listen to Murder Sheet. I mean, boy, the pretentiousness got me. Oh, did they turn on fake? Right, like I say, I can't even watch them or listen because the pretentiousness just makes me want to vomit. But that's interesting to hear. That's interesting. No, no, they're above us all. Yeah, yeah, they're so smart and pretentious. But hey, there's the link. Okay, so anyone want to join? Uh, hit the link. Hit the link there, and you will come into the back room. I will see who you are, and I will decide whether or not I want to allow you on. But yeah, hey, let's do a call in. So we're open for call ins. If anyone wants to join, go ahead. I'm not begging you. Come if you want. Don't come if you don't want. But that's the link for call ins if you want to do a call in. Oh, you same? Yeah, the pretentiousness gets me. I just cannot handle them. Murder Sheet called every pot in the kitchen black today. Yeah, but they're. What about how they were involved in every single leak that's ever happened with this case? Hello? They went after Fig. Well, they're trying to distance themselves. It's like they did with Snay, right? They were all buddy buddy with Snay until Snay was a part of this leak disaster in October, and then they all of a sudden distance themselves for that's their pattern of behavior is distancing themselves once someone gets in a little heat and hot water, back away. So they use them while they can, and when the shit hits the fan, they back away. That's how they do. That's how Murder Sheet does, and I can't stand them. I cannot stand those two. Boy, they're disgusting individuals. They called Fig Gary Bodetta shit. Oh, a ton of time. Well, that's his name. They're very leaky. They turned on everyone. Can't stand listening, but I listen to hear them trying to save their own asses. Well, that's what they do. A journalist and a lawyer. Yeah. There are leaks coming. That's what I was saying last night, Rochelle. That's what I was saying last night. The thing is, these leaks appear to be coming from the assistant to Judge Gall, if you really want to know the clerk. So, yeah, Judge Gall, subpoena me. I'm saying that, my opinion, for all outward appearances, it appears that these leaks, some of them, appear to be coming directly from Gall's office. They listed all the YouTubers named and how awful their morals and professionalism. Well, they're right about that. Okay, they're right about that because everyone in that fucking document, and I don't mean the witnesses, I mean the Frank Meisters, the sleuths, the figs, the everyone in that document that's part of the problem in colluding with Nicholas McClellan. And if you think I'm joking, I mean, you can go and read. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen the communications between Nick and Little Frankie. Okay, raise your hands. Who has seen the communications between Rick and Little Frankie? I mean, Nick and Little. Oh shit, Fig and Little Frankie. Okay, you go there and you read the communications between Fig and little Frankie, you'll be astonished. You will be astonished. Oh, let me give you some highlights. How about we do that? Okay, how about we do that? You're gonna love this one. Let's see. I've spoken to Nick for months. Nicholas McClellan. Now this is Fig talking to little Frankie. Look, I'm quoting. Okay, I'm quoting here. You see this? I've spoken to Nick for months. Frank says, that's good. Fig Solve says, he's asked for my help. So I helped him. Frankie says, I'm so happy I put constant pressure on these people. I really felt like I was fighting a lost battle. Fig says, I'll make sure he has Chris Todd's name. I can't remember if I passed his info along to Nick. Fig Solve says, because at the time I didn't know it was him sending them. Frankie says, well, you have Jennifer admitting it, that she does not want a part of it. Then Frank deleted one of his own comments, of course. Then Fig Solve says, yeah, it wasn't cool to send them to people who didn't ask for them. It involves people in something they don't want to be involved in. Then little Frankie deletes a bunch of his posts. Then he says on the 20th, Kathy, and I assuming Kathy Clendenning, another liar, a troll, a gaslighter, and former meth cook, possible current meth cook, meth dealer, Kathy Clendenning. Kathy says, on the 20th, Kathy said there were a lot of cars at Unified Command, and little Frankie says, at least we have one win, and that's the Carroll County Comet shutting down. And Fig Solve says, yes, we have a win for sure. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. And little Frankie says, that is one thing for sure. So then little Frankie says, I called the cops on Todd yesterday. I said that he had CSAM, technically true, and that I did not hear from him in days. And then he puts a smiley face. Fig says, damn. Frank says, the guy is a dick. I have no empathy in doing so. Yeah, so you mean their way of dealing with people they don't like? Call law enforcement, accuse them of possessing CSAM? I mean, there's so much more than that. I'm just saying, like, it's shameless. There's so much. Spoken to Nick for months. Hello? Months? Not once. Months. I know it sounds similar. Months and uh, once and months. Once and months. It's kind of similar. All right, so let me get back to the show. Shrek and Fiona are lovable though. Oof, in a disgusting way. Yeah, like Shrek and Fiona. It's appropriate they're called Shrek and Fiona. They have charisma that the sheets completely lack. I believe it's the defense wanting you there. No, that's not true, Radar. See, Radar, what happened is when Hennessy wrote that document, he wasn't aware that the defense already had it in their hands. Because remember, the defense consists of many attorneys. Okay, just be aware of this. The defense is not just Baldwin and Rozzi. The defense includes Hennessy and others. There are many attorneys associated with the defense. So that was the gaslight that who was it? It was stupid ass Miss Persevere, one of my worst trolls for 6 months, 8 months. She came in and saying that the defense didn't get my packet, blah blah blah. I lied. No. Be guaranteed. Not only did the attorney general get it, defense attorneys got it. And remember, I just said attorneys plural. More than one defense attorney got the packet, and the attorney general got the packet. So that's they always do these smear, these misinformation smear talking points, like I didn't do what I said I did, or it didn't happen the way that I said it. Oh, trust me, it happened the way I said it, and I'm not going to tell you. They don't want. Okay, so Judge Gold does not have control of her courtroom. Well, unless she does. Unless she does. They called Fig a shameless name dropper like Frankie, or like Frank Meister. Hey, Radar, yeah, you call in, Radar. Exactly. Or click in, whatever you want to call it. I put the link there. Anyone want to join? I'm not forcing anyone. I had to come say hi. What up, Peace? It's been a long time. I'm laughing my ass off at the Shrek and Fiona. Thanks for coming back in, Peace. Did I catch up with the chat yet? Oh, almost. All right. Even though I don't care for Chris Todd, that was dirty. Yeah, that was dirty, wouldn't it? But he's done it to me. Remember what they said about my murdered brother? Oh, you don't remember that far back? Yes, remember Ruckus Rocks and Jinx 13 and Necessary Evil and Little Frankie going on and on about my murdered brother and calling him a chomo when he was in prison or he was in a county jail when he was murdered for a probation violation for a marijuana charge. Yes, he's murdered because of marijuana. And they decided to mock and slander my murdered brother who was murdered at 18, my baby brother who I love so much and I'll never get back and I'll never get to give him another hug in my entire life because the last hug I gave him was permanently the last hug I could give him. Yes, that they did that. That's what they do. I can call in and read the email I received saying Rick Snay has swinger parties and Frank showed up early in an Uber with a bottle of wine from Total Wine and More. The shit I received. It wasn't that you misunderstood, Radar. It was that they intentionally put out the lie, and it was Miss Persevere was the one who came into my chat last night because she's a piece of shit, and at local, and she decided that she was going to say that I lied to the defense. No, no, no. Trust me. Not only does the Attorney General have a 1.7-pound package, uh, two separate defense attorneys have that package. Pam, hey, welcome in, Pam. Good to see you come in. Thanks for coming in, Pam. You're cheering me up. Ellie got off the hook by saying Richard Allen's statement got lost due to clerical error. Yeah, and FBI said no, the fuck it didn't. Remember that? Yeah, remember. Speaking of the lies of the state in this case, remember that they lied, and FBI called them out on their fucking lie. That no, we did not lose this. Anyone remember AOL chat rooms just like that? Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. That's what they do. They go after your family, they go after your kids, they go after your murdered loved ones. That's what they want to do because for them, this is called survival. FBI called them out, remember? Oh, yeah, they did. Hey, that was hilarious, actually, because normally you'd think they'd all stick together, but the FBI said, no, it wasn't our fault. Now, if we really want to talk about the PCA and Liggett, Liggett's outright lies and and uh, and Liggett's outright misrepresentation of witness statements. Yeah, so not only did the FBI call them liars, but Discovery called them liars because what it turns out is that yeah, the uh, the muddy bloody guy never happened. Okay, there was a guy who was muddy, and guess what? He was also not dressed like bridge guy. Okay, that guy had a tan jacket. Okay, he had a tan jacket and was muddy. He did not have a blue jacket like bridge guy, and he was not muddy and bloody. Now, how is it appropriate that someone in a position of authority such as Tony Liggett would do that, abuse his power like that? How is it that they would expect someone to believe that a 1965 Mercury comet in any way could be mistaken for a modern Ford Focus? How is that fucking even possible whatsoever? Why do you keep asking, Rosie Rue? You guys don't believe a word that I say? You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. The defense has the packet referred to in Hennessy's filing. Can I be any more clear with that? Oh yeah, not to mention the first week of interviews being recorded over. Yeah, that's right. And not being known that it was recorded over for 6 or more months. Like how is that even possible? You record over the entire first week of interviews in that interview room, and you mean to tell me that none of those detectives ever had the need for 6 months or more to go re-listen to any of those important first week of interviews? Something not adding up here with the story. She's giving me a headache because we're getting into serious matters now. Rick Snay sent me a picture of my 17-year-old daughter at 3 a.m. and called her fair game. Yeah, Rick Snay, you don't want to be called out for truth, dick face. And after that, he attempted to dox you, threaten, and harass you. Yeah, is that the reason he ended up not showing up for the groundswell protest on that Monday morning? Was he on a 72-hour hold? I'm just curious. I'm curious what happened with Rick Snay. Why did he not show up? How can Dan Doolin had off his report to another cop and both not make the connection? Yeah, or did Dan Doolin have anything to do with this at all? Those interviews validated the lies, says Radar. I believe you. Hey, Deanna Burdett coming back into the channel. Thanks for coming back to the show, Deanna. You always come in late. So what happens? You miss us. You miss us early on. Let's see. That reminds me. Which comet is it that the now dead newspaper was named after? And why is it important? Well, I actually don't know. Was it the comet? Was it the comet of like 1809? I believe it was that predated the the major earthquakes in 19. I mean, in 1811 and 12. Is that what we're talking about? Is it that comet? Because I really don't know which comet the comet was named after. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Hmm. They called you crazy because you lost your shit that a 58-year-old old weird man on the internet sent you a photo of your teenage daughter and called her fair game. Okay, listen, a 58-year-old old man on the internet sends a mother a photograph of her 17-year-old daughter and says, "Your daughter's fair game." Is that normal? Why is he allowed to have a YouTube channel? This is what I don't get at this point. With that sort of behavior, why is he allowed? Why has YouTube allowed him to continue to have a platform on their service? Why is Google allowing Rick Snay, who sends a mother a photograph of her teenage daughter at 3 a.m. and calls that daughter fair game, a 58-year-old creepy old man on the internet? Why is that allowed? Why is he allowed to still have a platform? I'm curious, Google. Judy says, it was rumors on Facebook about Muddy and Bloody, so Liggett went with the rumors instead of what was said. I guess he thought since it was rumors, everyone would believe it. Well, that's exactly what he thought, that he could get away with it. But see, Discovery proved that wrong. That's why they wanted the massive leak to make the 136-page Franks memorandum go away, and the team of Baldwin and Rozzi, because the discovery proved this sort of corruption in law enforcement. And so therefore, they wanted the defense to go away and 136 pages to go away because they don't want to be exposed for the scheme that has been transpiring for all these years, 7 years. Just wait until you find out what transpired in the first 2 years, because there's a whole thing that's not well known about the first 2 years. Freckle Joy, that is repulsive. Yeah, it's horrible. And Snay does use troll accounts. He lies and says he doesn't. He is Bob Duato. He was also called Critical Thinker. He's also has one called Rick Snay. He does use troll accounts and he lies to his viewers and says he doesn't. Marathon Gas video gone to, allegedly. Yeah. It was disgusting. I'm sorry for you. I'm sure her father was upset about it. I mean, I'm positive her father was not happy about some creepy old 58-year-old man on the internet stalking and harassing his teenage daughter. ISP, FBI, and Homeland Security were still there working in Carroll County. There's no evidence filing going on. No way there's no evidence filing going on. Lambert Coe says, look what the false PCA did to a man's life. That judge got the hell away from this case as soon as they likely leveraged him to sign the warrant. If we can see the errors, you know that the judge did. Yeah, exactly, Lambert. I agree 100% on this. I agree 100% again. Beetlejuice, P says, remember, he's like Beetlejuice. Say his name and he'll be popping by. Yes, he will. And he'll make a stalking and harassing video of me tomorrow, I guarantee you, because he's so obsessed that he cannot stop. The recorded interviews of witnesses early on validated the summaries by Liggett are lies. Validated. Okay, the recorded interviews of witnesses early on validated the summaries by Liggett are lies. Oh, okay, I would say it this way, that the recorded interviews validated the summaries by Liggett or the notes. Yeah, how in the fuck can we believe that? Because we know we can't believe anything out of this case in law enforcement because they've already exposed themselves as being untrustworthy, and even the prosecutor. That's the point we're at now in this case. They've all given so much reason to doubt their integrity and their ethics. He said he was sick. Who claims he's a Mensa? Oh no, he wasn't sick. He wasn't sick. He was not physically ill. Oh, I'm missing some shit. Hold on. I skipped again. Okay. Although in Indiana, sick as it is, 16 is the age of consent. It caused so much drama for her. Oh, hell no. Cindy, Cindy, that's a great one. Oh, hell nah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd be freaked out too. Oh gosh. Have mercy. Hey, Louise Cueva's coming in. Louise, where the hell you been? All right, Louise, come on. I'd be freaked out too. Liggett didn't tell Judge Diener about the eyewitness on the platform, number one, not matching Richard Allen's description. Oh, they totally fabricated. They had to target this man and bend and mold and squish and misrepresent and lie and twist evidence to make it all compound onto Richard Allen to get that PCA. The PCA is going to be thrown out, I am pretty sure. But who knows? Who knows how deep the corruption is? It's true. Nowhere even similar to a 65 Comet, which is extremely long angular vehicle, to a 2018 or 19 rounded, shorter Ford Focus. Absolutely no way. Even a woman, a child, a novice, an old lady, no one would mistake those two vehicles. Come on. That's the fact that he wanted you to believe that witness mistook one for the other. Not acceptable. Just my opinion, but it isn't coincidental. They didn't mention the deleted interviews until they were caught lying. Her father lost his shit as he should have. He's a LA County sheriff. Yeah, I bet he wasn't too happy with a 58-year-old creepy guy on the internet threatening his daughter and her mother. Well, that's been the problem I found with this case. So much shit has gone on that nobody can get back to those first days or years when this case should have been solved. Yeah, why? Who are they protecting? Okay, if there's corruption, if there is a cover up, the real question is who are they protecting? The same eyewitnesses or eyewitness who she thinks was the girls, she saw the girls she was leaving towards 300 is the proof of life. Thinks she saw. Yeah, there's no proof of life. There's no proof of life. Kelsey's statement is not a proof of life. Becky Patty's statement is not a proof of life. Okay. Therefore, proof of life on the 13th doesn't exist, in my opinion, unless it's part of the recorded phone. See, we don't know what was found on that phone yet. But do we have proof of life even on the 13th? Or is there only proof of life on the 12th or the 11th? When is the last proof of life that is actual evidence in this case? No, none. We just had to do everything we could on our end to protect her. Mm. Carroll County Comet with the first issue on February 6, 1974. Can't find more info straight away. Hey, welcome in, Rebecca. Hey, long time no see. Didn't I see you yesterday? Welcome in, Rebecca. You're a little late to the party, but welcome in. Hey, you made it. Now everyone can relax. She now has a tracker on her car, an emergency GPS on her keychain, and I track her phone at all times. Great, great. And she hates it. Well, sorry. But that is domestic terrorism, Snay. That is domestic terrorism. Hey, Freckle Joy, I have a question for you. How many complaints of stalking and harassment did the FBI have on Snay? I'm just curious. How many, how many open investigations or allegations of stalking and harassment did the FBI or does the FBI have on Snay? Oh, what am I missing? I think it just skipped. I just skipped. All right. Exactly. Who are they protecting? Yeah, who are they protecting? Who are they protecting for 7 years? This makes the evidence you collected even more relevant as it shows Ellie was involved in directing these creators. It appears to be the case, yes. People, if one must lie to get even the first warrant, it proves Ellie selected Richard Allen. Sure does it, or if they did not select him, they have an extremely, extremely weak case. So they have to do all they can to stack on evidence that is not evidence. Everywhere but Carroll County. The comet resurrected. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? What wouldn't it be nice if the comet, Carroll County comet, would be resurrected? Okay. No, Louise, you weren't here when I addressed this. The 1.7 pound package has been delivered to the defense attorneys, plural. Okay, so relax. Everyone has got stressed out over that because Hennessy, he wasn't aware, or he had not properly communicated with some other attorneys because he was not the one who received it. But just relax. Many times I have to say it. Fruit of the poisonous fig tree. Ouch. That's an ouch, digital. The fig is up. You know, when you have to hack, delete, misrepresent, that's not justice. No. Nick asked me to delete everything. Nick asked me to delete everything. And remember, I said last night about the discords that were deleted, where all this shit took place. Okay? Where all this shit took place. Reg Dunlop's Discord, Ruckus Rock's Discord, Snake's private Discord, Snake's Facebook. Hmm? Lots have been deleted. Lots have been deleted. How do you even say that, plural or not? Reg cord, in other words, a Christmas card from 1973 celebrating the impending arrival of what was supposed to be a once in a lifetime sight, a dazzling comet. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's odd. Okay. Ooh, that's crazy. Snay my name sounds like bondage shit to me. Ooh, that's super creepy from a super creepy guy. He wants to call me a creep. You know what he did? He made a short in which he holds up a photograph of or a painting, a self portrait of Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh, and he says, "This is a creepy guy. This is a creepy guy." And he says, "He looks like the Prof." Hey man, look, you're comparing me to a brilliant, genius, legendary artist, Vincent Van Gogh. I will gladly accept that comparison because Starry Night is pretty much one of my favorite paintings of all time, as abstract and strange as it is. I love Van Gogh's work. So yeah, I'll take that if that's all you got, Snake. Digital says, "Hey Lisa." Okay, so let's see. What is this? Aarontown says, "For those of a certain age, the name Kohoutek will always be linked to the celestial spectacle that never was, christened for month as the comet of the century." Wow, I have to figure that one out. Ruckus blocked almost everyone. Yeah, he did. Because he was pissed and because he was part of the problem. Okay, okay, let's see. Oh, there's someone, let's see, monikers. I vote EOA in charge of the new Carroll County comment. Hey, that'd be a great idea. Let's do a new Carroll County comment that goes 10 times harder than the old Carroll County comment. The object never came remotely close to living up to the expectations. Well, that's how comments are sometimes. The last actual proof of life was at 6:30 p.m. on February 12th, when Abby's grandmother dropped the girls off at the Paddies. Every connection to the girls after that was text or pics, except household members. The 12th. All right. You don't want a spectacular comet show. Well, that's why I was alluding to the 1811, 1812 comet, because that comet caused the New Madrid fault to explode into months of extremely devastating earthquakes. I made a very nice video for you guys on that. Those earthquakes went over the course of several months, continuously escalating in intensity. Pretty much the levels 7 to 8 on the Richter scale, and it caused extreme destruction along the New Madrid fault, and it's likely that it could happen again at any time. And the interesting thing about those earthquakes at that time in 1811 and 12 is that they noted that at the times that those earthquakes were happening the most violently, the comet was at its most brightest. Isn't that intriguing and amazing? Steve, here's the thing, though. Steve, here's the thing. I'm going to ban you again because you're not going to come here defending Rick Snay. I'm not going to accept it. You're talking about a victimizer of women, children, and men. You're talking about a victimizer, a cyber bully, a cyber stalker. I'm not going to allow you to come into my channel and defend Rick Snay. And yes, he did. This creepy old guy on the internet did send a photo of this woman's daughter to her and call her fair game. And so I don't want you to come in here defending Rick Snay. It ain't never going to work. My favorite is Cherry Blossoms by Van Gogh. You want it as far away as possible. The comments, yeah. Well, unless you want earthquakes and disasters and tidal waves. The comment is posting murals being painted around Delphi. One is a McMain Mama. Ugh. Okay. Jinx, I'm not giving you a platform. It's not going to happen ever. I've asked you for no contact for 6 months. I want you to leave me alone, and I never want any contact with you the rest of my life, unless you're going to go and stop the trolling and fix everything, all the destruction you've caused. So it ain't gonna happen. And Kyra De Bruin, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. No, you're not defending the 2 little girls that are murdered brutally. You're defending a maniacal, unhinged, immature YouTube creator who makes it his mission to dox, harass, and stalk other YouTubers around this case. So if you want to defend those 2 girls, you have to hold him accountable for his actions. Luis says, he didn't help with the leak where a man committed suicide. If anything, Snay hindered the investigation. Yes, he hindered it. He intentionally hindered it, and he said that let law enforcement do their job. I'm not helping at all. Just like Garrett Kurtz said. So the mentality we're dealing here with Snay is very similar to Garrett Kurtz. Bottom line. So you're not going to defend. You're not going to defend. You are enabling snay. And if you do, serious, one, come on, Steve. Don't make me. You're believing people as good as are as good-hearted as you are. No, Steve, we're not enabling snay. It ain't gonna happen. Or jinx. Isn't the double comment coming with the X mark the spot eclipse? Yes. Okay. That's why I made my I made a I made I love my video. What is my video called? Because let's see, I don't remember all the names, but this video I made, what is it called? It's called The Great American Eclipse, the Aleph Tav and the New Madrid. The Great American Eclipse, the Aleph Tav and the New Madrid. Let me share it. That'll be fun. I'll share it with the chat here. But this video here, I'm very proud of, and it addresses that eclipse and comet. Well, what's wrong here? Come on. There we go. Let's see. Rochelle says, I thought Hail Bop was the comet of the century. Isn't, okay. I'm blocked by Ruckus, Fig, and Sleuth Indigestion. Yeah, and little Frankie called you what? A whore? Ugly, man-faced? They all hate you because you called them out on the lies. I mean, that's what happens. That's why we're all dealing with this problem. You call people out on their lies and bullshit, and they get upset. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, Steve, or anyone else. And if you want to, just stay over there in their channels. Don't come into my channel with the Kool-Aid drinking. Snake has a video about it. He brags about it. He thinks it's funny. Yeah, he thinks it's. He also said no one cares about the cyber harassment, the cyber stalking, the doxing, the bullying, the threatening. See, Snake has threatened now to come to Colorado, and with the insinuation, just like Greeno, that I'm going to be harmed in some way, or my little boy. So yeah, you know, how is that okay? How is that funny? How old is a comet? What year was it established? Is it coincidental that they are shutting down this year with the celestial events? I had faith, but a man died and they had no interest in making it right. Not only that, still to this day, this is what I'm getting at. That's what I said last night. All of these fuckers were involved in these leaks. Not one of them, not even one, has stepped forward and taken accountability for their part in it. You have a man who blew his head off in his garage because he thought he was going to prison because of something you were involved in. And you don't have the balls to step forward and take accountability and admit to your part in this. It's absolutely disgusting. Okay. Ellen West says hello, and Prof in chat. Hey, welcome in, Ellen. Good to see you back. I could debate Jinx. No, there's nothing to debate. Like, she has to fix her problems and stay the fuck away from me, which is what I want. Okay, Kool-Aid in Delphi, all fake flavored. Something like it. Ooh, that's nasty. That is a nasty comment, Digital. Okay. Just love that. Oh, you love that video? Oh, thank you so much for the compliment. I loved making it, and it's important in my opinion. It's part of my love of doing things. I made that video for you guys. Don't enter in me truthful, and the Truth Mafia did some crazy shit about the comet and rituals. Little Frankie has been drunk since last night. That's nothing unusual. Oh, you remember when he was drunk and he admitted that number one, he's paid or hired to do what he does, which is stalking, doxing, harassing, cyber bullying. And then he said that he knowingly breaks the gag order with Anna Williams and Becky Patty, and but he's not supposed to admit that he talks to them because the gag order. So he said he's hired to do what he does, which is horrible actions, and then he's talking with the family, but he's not supposed to. He promised not to say anything because the gag order. Yeah, that little Frankie. Frank said I act like a slut, and he wasn't interested in me because I look like a man, which I find ironic. Well, he looks like a woman, so maybe it's projecting. Okay. I enjoy your chats, Prof. Nothing personal. Well, it's nothing personal, Steve. It's this, Steve. Accountability. Okay. I don't, or I dare any of those asshats to come to LA. They will not leave. I dare them to come to my house. They will not leave. Awesome. Are you sure he did it? Oh, you mean Fortson? I'm pretty positive he did because of some things I know about the events surrounding it. I am under the understanding that he was told he was going to prison, or he was told that he would be going to jail. And I think that because of the type of guy he was, being intimidated by law enforcement, that he would be facing jail time, and I think he was highly disturbed. Remember, remember the screenshots of him reaching out multiple times to Mark Cohen, who was ignoring his text messages and phone calls and saying, please, please, please pick up. I need to speak to you, that sort of thing. He was in a bad mental state, okay? Well, he had law enforcement threaten that he would be facing time. And then I think he heard sirens, blew his face off, his head off. And it's horrible. And these people have zero remorse, zero accountability. They've never, ever, 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 ever admitted to their role in the leaks. And that's all we've wanted, is just admit it, be a man. Okay. Did I see Frankie today? No, I saw that he threatened me or harassed me or in some way on his community post. But I don't give a shit about what he says or does on his channel. Wait until they put Frankie on the stand. Narcissists don't accept accountability. It's obvious none of them even have any self-respect. Snay, Hughes, Greeno. Today he said that the fig stuff was a setup to trap people. Well, that's the argument. Like I said earlier in the show, you weren't here. I said that's the argument they're going now to try to dodge this bullet. They're saying it was a setup. We were trying to trap the corrupt defense, and we were trying to trap stupid Julie Melvin, and some of it is fake. Yeah, they're because they had zero valid reasons for the things that are documented. And guess what? They don't even know it's documented. They don't know because we haven't posted that stuff. We have not posted what exists. He also admitted to being a hacker. Yes, well, it's not just him, though. It's him and a group of hackers who have collectively been assaulting us for more than 6 months. And that they also don't know what evidence of that will be presented. He was desperate and nobody stepped in. That's how they're trying to spin it. Yeah, they're trying to spin it all right, but the thing is they don't realize what evidence exists. Okay. I will believe that Fortson was unassisted once I have seen and evaluated the evidence. Until then, I suspect assistance. Yeah, well, there may have been too. I don't know. I'm just assuming that if he did do harm to himself, there are valid reasons why he would have, including the threat to face time. But there may have been some hand in it. But we don't know any of that yet. But I've been thinking on that. I think they can force subpoenas on someone out of the USA unless it's a federal case. Or there's some extradition or something, but I don't know. I found your analysis of the Holder timeline very enlightening. Do you mean from the Frank's Memorandum series where we went through that Frank's Memorandum? But thank you. I always thought Fortson did not want to play along with setting up an innocent man, and they gave him an ultimatum. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. See, I mentioned that before in a previous show, and I hate repeating myself, but I went back through Fortson's complete Reddit history, as well as Snae's, as well as Mark Robert Cohen. And Fortson, what disturbed me was although he was part of this group of people in sharing information, the most disturbing thing was that he more aligned on the side of due process, which is unusual for that group because that group is largely guilty until proven innocent crowd. Okay, but Fortson was not that way. Fortson was innocent until proven guilty, Constitution, due process. And that disturbed me because it immediately made me think that that's an ethical dilemma there, and therefore he could have been a target because there's that moral divide. Even though they're sharing the corruption of sharing these images and paying for the images, which everyone seems to have forgotten about, that there's this exchange of money. There appears to be this exchange of money. And remembering that Fortson alleged that this was all on the dark web. There's this whole conversation has been sidetracked, so no one's even remembering to discuss that. But even though there was all of that illicit activity and shit going on, so that made them similar, I found that the major difference is Fortson was morally or ethically, he was more on the side of due process and innocent until proven guilty, and that's highly disturbing because it makes me think, well, 95% of the group is the opposite. That makes him the outlier. That makes him the oddball. He could have been targeted for what he had knowledge of with the illicit activity. And because they figured he was a risk they couldn't accept because he might have turned on them or blew the whistle or exposed that activity he was a part of because of the moral or the ethical concerns with due process in this thing playing out. So who knows? But yeah, Rebecca's spot on right here. Regardless, they all have blood on their hands, whether it's directly or indirectly. The blood's on their hands because they were all part of a situation which led to the death of Robert Kyle Fortson. None of them at all whatsoever have stepped forward and taken accountability. All they've done is lie. They've gone quiet to let the heat dissipate. They've all tried to shuck and jive their way around being a part of these leaks. But it's very well known, the entire group who was part of these leaks, and it's all of this group of YouTubers and hackers in the Discords and on Facebook. And so their whole little story right now about the trap being set to try, and so no. They don't realize what evidence we have that has been passed on. That's the thing. They don't realize that those talking points ain't going to work with the evidence that exists. Guarantee you. That's PR campaign. That's to establish a narrative among the dumbass YouTube viewers who don't know any better. But yeah, they set a trap for themselves, is what they said. He said he's coming after you, moving to America. Oh, really? Yeah, come on, Frankie. Come on, little Frankie. Because they walked right into their own trap. Yeah. Questioning Fortson's offing. Radar, I did not realize where he lived. Thank you. Good point. Did they feel honored to get the call and not consider the consequences? Yeah, you mean the ego stroking, that the whole ego, narcissistic ego stroking, whatever, with having access to the patties and having access to the prosecutor's office. Yeah, maybe they felt, maybe part of it is oh, we're big and bad. We're the best YouTubers. We're big and bad guys because we're talking to the prosecutor. We're talking to the family. Well, they fucked up. And he was really into the case like most of us. Yeah, Fortson was. He was posting about Stephanie Thompson, like most of us, and her daughter and the connection with Delphi. He served 4 tours in Iraq, and his friends abounded him. And he was left with no answer. Those people only cared about themselves. Yeah, to this very day. They actually were laughing today. Okay, stupid ass Turbo, stupid ass Fig. They were actually laughing today about this subject matter. I posted the screenshots. How dare they laugh about this situation when there's a dead guy involved and there's a young girl who's going to grow up without her father? How dare they laugh? I don't know. Towards the end, his opinions changed. Yeah, he was coming our direction. He was leaning this way. Sorry to abandon you. Oh, did you leave for a minute? But I did engage in debate and click like, so my conscience tell me I can catch the third live stream. I don't understand why Doug Carter does not address the citizens of Indiana enduring all this disturbing behavior. I don't understand why the feds don't step in and protect the innocent people from the attacks of these criminals. Where are the feds in this? I think there's another link. Westerman, Fortson, and MSC, along with some others, served in the military at that same time. Little Joe found the connections. Yeah, and how about Ruckus Rocks? How about Ruckus Rocks? And he said that maybe Alan confessed because Alan was being threatened by Kathy, that Kathy might be charged. Yeah, or Kathy might be killed. No, Luis, that I'm on board with you. That's what I mean. When I delved into that Reddit history, it's just red flags all over with Fortson, with his difference. Oops, sorry, I never mute this phone. Okay. Curiouser and curiouser, considering he ended up as he did, dead. Fortson had a UCMJ to face. He was going to be dishonorably discharged and his family would lose everything. But if he died, they got his life insurance. Yeah, not only that, he was threatened with arrest. They are still part of it. Yes, they are part of it. He only had shared F Tree and told Mark he felt guilty not to share anymore. Well, we don't know the details of that. There's evidence that he purchased items off of the dark web radar, which probably would be the crime scene photos. Nancy, agree. I think people need to hold him accountable for information. They don't realize they're caught yet. Well, they're trying to squirm their way out of it, but that's what Ellen, what I'm getting at, I keep hinting at tip of the iceberg. Everyone's caught. Everyone's caught. Everyone has been caught since the fall of 2023. Everyone's been caught. This has just been a slow disclosure, but everyone's been caught since the fall of 2023. He was the only one that was going to face any of the real consequences for law enforcement through the military. Who's coming after you? Okay. Of course, you can't listen to me because I also question Tupac and J.E. Epstein? Is that his name? Jeffrey Epstein? Please don't judge. I am most likely mentally ill. Yeah, right. We're all, that's what I said earlier yesterday, that it's hard to talk about this because the minute you start talking about it, you instantly sound crazy because it's so complex. And it would imply such devious and it's just very, it's things that people think are too conspiratorial. They don't give a fuck about their friend. No. And stupid ass Mark Robert Cohen pretending to care. Pretending to care. You remember the Frankie recorded the phone call and he played this whole, oh, poor me and poor me. No, fuck that. Good night, Bobby Smith. Good night. Good night, Bobby. That's a good point, Freckle Joe. I had a family member end it, and I've always suspected he did it for the same reason. Hey, Lisa, I know he needs to address the law abiding citizens that love and supported the lawful enforcement. Yes. And so do the feds. This has gone on far too long. Okay, Radar says they were the chosen ones and seem to be making excuses now. Yeah, and they're trying to cover their asses. We have a major case of CYA. Bottom line, they're done. The top of their pyramid is coming down, and the dumbass YouTubers who have grifted off this case can go back to their beloved crack pipes. Hey, Christy, welcome in. Thanks for joining the channel here. That's my question. Where are the feds? Where are they? I mean, the shit, how many more people have to die? There's at least one other case where an out-of-town individual was subpoenaed and it's still playing out. She does not want to testify. Okay, Steve says he believes that Bridge Guy is 6 foot tall and 260 pounds. Who do you think is Bridge Guy? Yeah, I don't know. Is Bridge Guy even a thing? Do either Nick or Fig think delete everything solve the problem? Yeah, because they're kind of slow because they don't know that the feds or even the locals can subpoena everything. First one to squeal gets the best deal, guys. Come on, Ruckus. Other guys, come on. First one to squeal gets the best deal. Let's go, Snake. Let the backstabbing begin. Come and throw each other. Hey, you know what? I've told you this before, and no one was listening. The backstabbing started this summer. Okay, it already did. That's the things you guys don't understand. Like, we've had several from the group already come to us and tell us what was going on, how they do things, who's involved, what they were doing, what they were planning to do. Like, that's what I've been trying to get to you. That's why I've been correct the whole time. Like, you understand, I have been correct this whole time. Why? Because we've had a couple of them from the inner group who were in the discords, who were in the private chats, who were on the text messages with each other. We've had a couple of them, a few of them, come on over to this side and give it all up. Mm-hmm. That's how we know. So the coming clean has already begun. Okay. Let's see. And people fucking with Noe need to cut it out. Well, it's the same group. That's the thing, that the group never changes. It's always the same group. Cindy, I am Delphi Steve. On my other computer, I had a problem logging on to. Okay. Are the feds involved somehow too? That's the question we have. It's like, are the feds involved in being part of this disease, the corruption? And is that why it's allowed to continue? Or is there some long-term strategy they're playing out where they're allowing it to continue and allowing innocents to be victimized? But either way, the question is, where are the feds? Why do you think Murder Sheet wasn't mentioned in the filing? Because they are not involved in this particular... Okay, Murder Sheet was mentioned in the emails between the attorneys and the judge and the prosecutor back when these leaks happened. Okay, so Murder Sheet was mentioned then. Murder Sheet was also alluded to in the Westerman PCA written by Ben Rector, which stated that Mark Cohen leaked to YouTubers and podcasters. Well, Murder Sheet would be podcasters, wouldn't it? But in this particular set of circumstances, it doesn't involve Murder Sheet as much. They're not really directly involved in this in the way that those named are. So that's why they weren't, at least to my understanding. Okay, maybe I will email Doug and tell him how stressed out we all are and he has no idea. Please do it. Okay, let's see. Noe's friends give him love and support. It all started with the barbecue pig roast. Yeah. Let's go, Laura. Come clean before it's too late. Have to be probably pyramid. What does everyone think of Keegan getting a reduced sentence right after McClellan was thrown into speedy trial with little factual evidence? Did someone offer Keegan a deal to testify? Well, that was the word on the street, that Keegan was offered a deal, and he didn't pass a polygraph, so the deal was retracted early on. That was the word on the street. It's very disturbing. Some of us have secondary PTSD. Well, I have primary PTSD from all of this. And so imagine the viewers have secondary. What do you think that those of us who've really been threatened and attacked? What I'm really worried about is losing all confidence and trust in Indiana law and courts. Well, it's already happened. Question remains, can the double agents be trusted not to turn as a triple agent? U.S. Marshals interviewed Bree a couple years ago. Yep, that's federal, yeah. Cindy likes Steve's analysis. Awesome. All right. Oh, my back's starting to hurt. That means we're gonna be winding it down soon. Okay. Christy says, thanks for answering my question. Oh, you're welcome. They just appeared too slimy to be involved, or to not be involved. Yeah, oh, you mean Murder Sheet? I guarantee you this, they benefited from all of it. But I think they've done a good job of cover your ass. So they escaped really being in the middle of all this at this moment in time. But like I said, who knows what's coming? Oof. Okay. These YouTubers need to be reported by many people. Oh, well. Camel County says, country says, remember that the defense doesn't put out info until they have all evidence first. It's signed, sealed already. The jokers can say whatever they want to deceive it. Well, that's what I'm getting at, Camo, is that what we've been talking about for 6 months, you just found out about yesterday, and you've only found out about the direction that it's heading. You haven't seen any of the evidence. So that's what I'm getting at, is the past year of evidence has not been shown to the public. So yeah, the defense has all of the evidence. It's a mountain. There's more to come, actually, because one thing that the defense does not possess yet is the bulk of evidence of the troll activities, the trolling, the harassment and doxing. Anyone who's thinking that what was submitted in this mountain of evidence is all of the trolling and blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. So we're not even talking about trolling. Okay, what's being discussed in this instance is the actual really worst stuff. Okay, so all of the trolling and stuff that has been submitted to law enforcement, it has not yet been submitted to defense because it's one step at a time. So just imagine that you're talking about hundreds of pages, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of pertinent information that is not at all about all the trolling, harassment, stalking, doxing, all of that. But all of that evidence of troll farm has been delivered to law enforcement. Just like we did with this other stuff where we delivered to law enforcement first, defense second. So with the trolling, stalking, harassing, doxing, all of this shit, evidence of the troll farm, which is a tool of the top of this pyramid, that's to come as well, and it's extensive. I mean, it is a mountain of evidence. So what we're expecting is accountability from law enforcement to say, look, you've been handed all of this. You've handed all of this shit a year ago, 6 months ago. So when it enters the court system, you will have to answer into the court system. Why have you not addressed the death threats, the stalking, the harassment, the doxing, the repeated behaviors? So there's, like I said, there's layers to this. There's a lot of layers. It's like it's extreme. It's like peeling an orange or a thick onion. There's some very thick layers to all of this. Okay, pardon me. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. That was my thought. They followed directions and deleted faster than the rest. Jokers won't even read defense documents. They're afraid of the truth. Yeah, what is the whole thing about Gull saying she didn't even read the 136 pages? I mean, we spent 20 hours reading through it on the live stream. She couldn't spend two. Murder she denounced to the public 10 days or so prior to Baldwin finding out that he was going to be sanctioned on public news. How did Murder Sheet know? Because they're involved in the leaks. Yeah, they have always said, okay, not only Murder Sheet, Fig Solves, all the hackers, okay, they were saying, so you guys understand, they have been saying that their source is in law enforcement. Okay, is that clear to everyone? They have been, hello, put your ears on. They have been saying that their source, now I'm not talking about Murder Sheet only. I'm saying these people have been saying that their source is law enforcement. My guess is most of us have PTSD prior to following this case. Thank you guys. Laura is Gull's assistant. Okay, let me try to catch up with you guys. They're trying to make Alan look tall. Hope she's not the same Laura trying to frame the unraveling. A lot of bright minds in different fields, locals. That's called our group, our working group. Math doesn't lie. Math does never lie. People do. YouTubers do. I think this case might open a vault of unsolved crimes in Indiana. Well, that's where we agree, Ellen. Ellen, round of applause. We definitely agree with that, Ellen. I think that this case is going to bust wide open the door to a multitude of crimes. How do you hang out with some of these sleazy characters without showing your true character and lose their trust? These are honest questions. Math and observation is science. Meanwhile, the channels were laughing, bullying at us. Yeah, we'll see. We're seeing who will get the last laugh. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. Ellen West, did you see Klan in that area growing up? They're all over that area. Aryan Nation. Okay. All right, Ellen. Ellen says, I also want to believe, or I also believe that the bigger top dogs are going to go down also. Well, I hope so. I hope so, Ellen. I really hope so. It's looking, see, that's what the thing is. Who's pulling the strings up here? Who's pulling the strings? Where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Deanna says, sent you an interesting email. Well, thank you, Deanna. I will definitely look at it as soon as we close this down. We shut this down. I'm checking that email. How can the FBI ignore this? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get that up. Like French said, they're too busy watching Catholic schools serving the political agenda of the circus government. Yeah. No, that's why I commented that it's disturbing knowing I grew up around it and never knew it. Well, what I said to you in December, and I say again, is that the dam is bursting. And then I said, hold on, it's going to be a wild ride, and you're going to be shocked. And I'm not kidding, guys. You are going to be shocked. Perhaps this yesterday is beginning to crack some eyes open about how you might be shocked. Okay, because just think about it. If some of the YouTubers are involved, some of the law enforcement, Some of the family, some of the names and faces that you've trusted, I think that would be shocking, wouldn't it? Before the public began looking down on their actions, they weren't afraid. I was a child and we had just moved there. They were spreading tales about it. Mom drove us to the area thinking it wasn't real. I went to school with Leslie. Woo. Interesting, Ellen. Is Lesenby involved in covering some of this shit up? Luna Ray says, I doubt I'll be shocked. Well, nothing would shock me any longer. But yeah, I think there's about a bunch of it would be shocking to the average YouTube viewer. All right, I can't wait. You can't wait for me to read it? Oh, me either then. I can't wait to read it. All right, guys. Well, hey, I put up the link to join the StreamYard. Any of you guys want to join for 5 minutes while we close? Any of you guys want to join? You guys want to join while we're here? Otherwise, we'll be winding it down because Profi, who is getting a little tired. My back's hurting sitting here. His mustache is definitely involved. Yeah, it's it's hellacious, isn't it? Why do these cops think that that's a nice look? I never understood that. Murder Sheet was proud to be the first to announce the removal of Rozzy and Baldwin. Remember, we are only seeing what Rozzy and Baldwin went out. Imagine what the intel they are holding for trial. Rozzy and Baldwin know enough to inflict real pain. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with you guys. It's not just Rozzy and Baldwin. You know, the Prof, how would I say it? You're only seeing as far as what the Prof knows, you're only seeing what the Prof wants you to put out. Okay? What the Prof wants out. As far as Julie Melvin and Noe and Holly Lowry and Skip and Angela and the rest of us, meow. You're only seeing what we want out because, like I've been saying, we are hoping that law enforcement will do the right thing with the rest of it. But I guarantee you, when the time comes, you will see the rest of it will come out because eventually it's all going to be out. And if we end up not getting through, depends on what happens with this trial with Richard Allen, what comes of it, et cetera. There's too many unknowns about what may transpire. But I put it this way to be most easily understood. The further that things progress, the more time that passes, the more will come out. And so that's amazing because more will be coming out. And like I said, how has the Prof been correct all along? Well, because we've had people uncomfortable with what has taken place who've come over, okay? And so that's what's going on. Now, let's see. I want to say catch the rest of these. We watched the hooded come on horses burn a huge cross in the yard of the only black family that just moved there too. I watched their baby girl running around in jammies screaming. Despicable. Oh my God, horrible. Yeah. Yes, and black folks in these counties, their number one cause of death is homicides. I mean, you realize it's a white supremacist location, don't you? All of you watching. And all of you watching who are these people, you realize that we understand what you are, who you are, and what you have done, and what you continue to do. I think my biggest surprise, says Digital, would be who the confidential informants are. Yeah, I think that'd be part of it, Digital. Who has already snitched? All right. The most unreal thing ever. That's Radar. I can't believe that Story you just told. Only takes two for a conspiracy. It takes one to infiltrate. Yeah, goddamn right, Ellen. I want to find membership roster for the Klan in Carroll County. The Klan are now neo-Nazis, Aryan Nation, Vinlanders, and I think you know that this might be part of why we have a problem here. We got a community within a community. I've said it multiple times tonight. Trust no one. They are very good and capable with social media. This is why they have succeeded this time. Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder, Carol. Everyone, please hit like. Please hit like as we are preparing to wind it up. Please hit like right now so you don't forget. And hey, let me give you the pitch now. We have some donation pathways. Feel free to hit those up if you appreciate what we're doing here. Hit up the donation pathways. We got the merch for sale, like the little hoodies and the hats and the shirts and stuff. And we have I have my beautiful photography of Delphi that I have put together for you if you want to have some beautiful photography of the Delphi area. Uh, that's available as well, and I'm very proud of my photography. Um, but I probably make less off the photography than anything else I could possibly sell. Shh, shh, the dog's going nuts. um, what I'm getting at though is I'm proud of the photography, and it's a new thing just a couple days ago that I made available to you guys. So we got the Delphi photography, the merchandise. We got the donations. We have memberships here at the channel. I love when you become a member because uh, I can see in the chat who is a member because the little icons are not, and it's all it is just it's I don't know. It's kind of it makes me I get sentimental when I see who's the membership. I'm like, oh man, that's sweet. They bought a membership. But let's see. Carter said the community surrounded the family. Maybe that was blocking them in and not embracing them. Well, I think that that statement could be interpreted many ways, but I think it's one of the most important statements that has been made by Mr. Carter, and it could allude to protecting the family. It could allude to protecting the family. And remember, I said we have a community within a community, covering up the murders of these baby girls. Seems like the law enforcement who have tried to find the truth aren't around anymore. They're all killed. They're either demoted, discredited, or just plain dead. Yeah, I believe they've been murked. I mean, I'm very concerned about Stephanie Thompson and her daughter. I hope Baldwin and Rozzy are listening and taking that advice seriously, because you best believe there's an infiltrator in the camp. Well, I can tell you this. I'm pretty positive all the attorneys all the way around monitor YouTube on an ongoing basis, just like law enforcement does, and that's verified. Law enforcement and the attorneys monitor the YouTube channels. Ellen says they are involved. Of course, it's a hate group can be involved in anything. Well, we're dealing with the neo-Nazi white supremacists in the area. After that, they seemingly are gone, not just gone, not gone, just silent. They all work for one entity, no matter the name, Satan. Yeah. And at the lower level, twits get thrown off the big dogs. Will hire more capable wolves. Well, they've been passing. See, what they do, what we've noticed, those who have been hired, they use them until they're no longer credible, and then they ditch them. So we've seen several creators come and go who were incentivized, and what it appears is that they come like an attack dog, and they do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work, and then they fuck up or something, and then or once it's too obvious, then boom, they get cast to the wayside, and then they get a new, fresher one to do it. And that's what happened with Ruckus and Lil Frankie, allegedly. Blessings galore. Thank you for the super chat. Let me give you where's my little sound? Hold on. Hey, blessings galore. Thank you for the super chat. What do you think Doug Carter's fascinating tale is all about? I'm highly suspicious of the family, and you guys know that. You guys know I am super suspicious of the bizarre behavior and inconsistencies from the family. So I believe that's what it's all about. And I'm allowed to have that opinion because it's my honest reflection of my observations that for me, the family members appear to be uh, exhibiting signs of deception. Their statements have been completely inconsistent over the years. They behave bizarrely, in my opinion. The silence of Derek German alone is extremely telling to me. So, blessings galore. That's my opinion is it points in that direction. So I'm sorry I won't answer it more clearly, but I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. That's where I'm getting with it. But thanks so much for that. Hey, Carol says good night, Prof and chat. Well, good night, Carol. Good night. I mean, it's getting late. Is it getting late? It's Friday night party. Let's see. We did a lot of serious talk. We were supposed to be partying our asses off, but it's always get in this heavy stuff because it's a heavy situation. Right? I see you, Diamond Eyes. You're not locked. I'm hoping Doug Carter has something to say soon. He's talked in circles. Me too. I've been saying that since the end of the year. I think it's time for Doug to come and say something again. I really do. I think it's time for Doug to comfort the citizens, and I think it's time for the feds to probably show that everyone's going to be okay because we believe people are in danger around this case. Freckle checked the State Library, KKK, and D.C. Stevens in 1989 to 1978. Do you mean 1889? I don't know what you mean, Ellen. But great. I'm sure she will. New chatter, share Prof's channel. He deserves much more credit for his contributions to this case. Oh, yeah. And please subscribe to the backup channel. It's called The Prof True Crime. Okay, let me type it. The Prof True Crime. Prof True Crime. Please go subscribe to that backup channel. We're trying to get to 500 subs. We're gonna have a celebration when we hit 500. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe to that backup channel. I want to get to the 500 subs. That would just elate me. Living in Noah's day. Yeah, we are now. And Delphi is sacred ground. Always has been, but it's kind of hidden information. The coroner has been honest. He's basically said he has no idea what happened, but the murderer or murders and the girls. Oh, I see. But the murderers and the girls know what happened. Well, he's also said we have an aerial view, a completed puzzle of what happened to these girls. And they just are one piece of the puzzle away, is what he keeps saying. But then he says we have a completed puzzle. But then he says we're one piece away. So it's kind of like many things, kind of contradictory. But come on, Doug, it's time to talk. Stevenson was a KKK name, also the name of the couple who were murdered in Kentucky. Of course, they monitor social media. The higher level agents are way more intelligent than these simple folk around these parts. No offense to simple folk. I never was, but the math didn't add up. D.C. Stevenson was a Grand Wizard KKK in the 20s. All right, good night, Carol. Again, good night. Delphi is a decoy to Flora, just like a Manson family trying to sway attention from Gary Hinman murder. Yeah, Flora. Now, was Flora, look. Flora was a black family. We're dealing with a white supremacist group here. So, I don't know. You put two and two together. But we also have meth trade involvement, and we have human trafficking. So, hey, it's a whole soup, and we have corruption. You have a whole soup of shit that is very complex, and who knows what to make of it without more information. He raped and killed a teacher and was put in prison. It took down the Klan. Right. Freckle, are you familiar with that? Oh, yeah, and there's a backup channel there. The Prof True Crime. Please go subscribe. The Prof True Crime. I refuse to become obsessed with any other case. When Delphi is done, I'm done with true crime. Thank you, Freckled. Me too. Hopefully. Subscribe to the other channel. He's almost there. I'm almost to 500. Please. Yeah, and the spirit box keeps saying Benjamin over and over repeatedly. Does it mean Benjamin Diener, Benjamin Mears, some Benjamin we don't know about? Why does the spirit box keep saying Benjamin? Ben. Doug Carter is a member and he cannot say or do anything without violating his oaths. The outcome for violating one's oaths with these groups is death. Yes, there is a death clause. We know that. Stevenson crossed the Monon High Bridge while he tortured that young lady on his train car. Funny story, I made a friend with a praying mantis in my yard. I call him Charlie. Then he shows up in my house riding on top of my puppy's forehead. You got to get him out of the house because I have those often become attracted to me for some reason. But they'll lay the egg sac in your house somewhere. And if that hatches, you'll have 30 to 50 tiny, tiny praying mantises the size of an ant all over your house. It's incredible. Prof has some really great videos with the drones and tributes with really good music. Oh yeah, I love making those. I'm so busy that I don't have the hours and hours it takes to make those videos anymore. I've been pretty busy. But I have put many hours into making nice videos. So if you go look, I've got tons of old lives and tons of videos. A bunch of nice videos around Delphi and Indianapolis also, and Colorado. A bite on her stomach was eventually what killed her, if anyone gets that reference. Ooh. If they get away with this, soup is going to get a lot thicker. Yeah. 2 Bens, Mears and Diener, and who knows who else. Your daughter says you're a Disney princess. Well, I would agree. I would agree. All right. A bite on her stomach is eventually what killed her. Okay. Well, guys, I think we've reached the end of the road. Thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. Oh my God, what a nice Friday night party. Hey, Noe must be passed out. Normally, Noe would be in here partying with the chat, but Noe works very hard, more than 40 hours a week. So I know on Friday he's probably exhausted from the week and passed out. But yeah, it's pretty much we only missed Noe and everyone who was lurking and didn't join the chat. Well, you know, we're sorry that you didn't participate. We didn't get to enjoy each other in the chat, but I do appreciate you for watching anyway, because I know a lot of the friends they watch even when they don't do the chat or participate in the chat. But yeah, guys, oh my gosh, I'm tired, and well, and it's been a great day, and a great day yesterday, and so hopefully we'll see you. I don't know, Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. You know, I kind of take it leisurely around here, but within the next few days, we'll do another live. Guarantee you, I'll be making some community posts or posting videos. We'll do some stuff. But yeah, please remember, hit that backup channel, hit the like, and thank you so much for coming. And love each other, love your families, love your wife, love your husband, hug your children, hug your wife. And we'll see you guys next time, okay? I'll leave the chat open for another 5-10 minutes like I always do for those of you new here. In order to not abruptly cut it, I'll leave the chat open another 10 minutes for everyone to wind it on down. And that's how it'll work. And we'll see you guys next time. Again, thanks so much for watching. And yeah, say some prayers. All right. We're out of here.